Good evening, everybody. I hope you are keeping well. I want to share a little personal story of mine with you this evening. I'm going to be honest with you, I was a little bit nervous about whether or not I should do this little video, but I plucked up the courage and decided to go ahead with it. During the week, my next door neighbour to my mother's house popped in to give her something that she had kept for quite a long time, and it is this here. This is a file that I wrote when I was 10 years of age in primary 7, and it says Carla Spear, my life so far, and in the bottom corner it says June 1998. When we were in primary 7 at school, we were encouraged to write a file, this very one here, about our life to date. Now, the reason I am on to film this video with you this evening, I want to share a very personal story of mine, which I have written and is included in this particular file. Let's open it up. Inside we have the contents. So chapter 1, my personal details and photographs, my first memories, my school days. As you can see, here are some of the lovely photographs with my lovely mother as a baby and growing up as a child. I had many fond memories as a child, and birthdays, and making lots of friends. And chapter 2 here, my first memories. One Sunday just before I started school, I thought I would cut my hair. And there are some photographs there, but we'll just slide very nicely past them. My poor mother, as many of you know her, can tell you those photographs. But coming up to chapter 4, this is the reason why I'm talking to you this evening. I wrote a little story, and this is a very personal one of mine. In primary 7, at our final leaving mass, I was encouraged to read out this little story to share with my peers. And I haven't seen this story since then, and I was 10 years of age and I'm now 34. Let me read the story to you. I couldn't wait until the 7th of February 1998 came. My 11 plus results were coming out that day. I was awakened early with the phone ringing. It was my uncle to see if I'd got my 11 plus results yet, but I hadn't. It was 9 AM and I knew my post wouldn't arrive until after 11 AM. Meanwhile, the phone didn't stop ringing. My friends were anxious to know what I got, and equally I was anxious to know what they got. I sat at the mat at the front door. Gosh, I remember it very well. Waiting patiently for the postman to arrive. After an hour, my mum encouraged me to come in to get warmed and get a little bite to eat. I didn't feel like eating because I was so excited, but I came in anyhow. I wanted to go back out again and hurry the postman up, or maybe go and meet him. But the waiting was over. The postman had arrived and I dashed to the front door to collect the mail. I started to open the letter that was addressed to me. I couldn't get it open quickly enough, so my mum helped me. There was a total silence. We both stood in horror at what we saw. That big letter D. I ran to my bedroom and I cried and I cried and I cried. I remember it so well. I didn't want to come out of it ever again. I felt so sad. I didn't want to see anybody or speak to anybody. I should have been going up to my Irish dancing class at 12 o'clock and feeling on top of the world. The feeling I had was so terrible. I couldn't even describe it. And I hope I don't feel this feeling ever again. I wrote that little story when I was 10 years of age. And that was my experience of doing the 11 plus and the result that I got. And that memory has stayed with me my entire life. Now, as time went on, I was accepted into a fantastic school, St Patrick's College in Ballymena, and I got a wonderful education at that school. The teachers really spent time with you. They had great patience, and I still remember the kindness of all of the teachers that they gave every single one of us that attended that school. You knew that the teachers really cared about you and about our future. And I was very thankful for the education that I got at St Patrick's College in Ballymena. I entered that school with a D, and 5 years later I came out of that school with 8 GCSEs ranging from A star to C. I then went to another school and attained 3 A levels. I then went to the University of Ulster in Coleraine and did a degree in English Literature and Media Studies. I then attended the University of Ulster in Magee and did a postgraduate course in music. And I then went back to the University of Ulster in Coleraine and did a master's in journalism. What a wonderful education that I did get. I still remember getting that letter D, and I felt like such a failure. I wasn't accepted into any of the grammar schools, unfortunately. Every one of them said no because I got a D in my 11 plus, and I felt it's such a failure. I think the difficulty for me at 10 years of age, I couldn't understand why I wasn't accepted into the school, and I just felt that I wasn't good enough, and life as I knew it was over, you know, that there was nothing that I could offer the world. How wrong I was. How wrong I was at 10 years of age. And that's why I wanted to share this little personal story with you this evening. If there's somebody out there tonight that you feel that this story could help them, I want to reach to that particular person. I'm now a journalist and I work for the BBC, and I love my job. I really do. And I just think of my life from 10, and I'm aged 34 now, and looking back over those years, I didn't know what would happen. I didn't know what the future story would tell, but here I am all of these years later, and I am so happy. I worked really hard, and I am so thankful for my mummy and my daddy and all of my wonderful family and friends who really believed in me, and particularly to all of the teachers that I met at St Patrick's College, All Saints Primary School, University of Ulster in Coleraine, who believed in me, who took time with me and who worked with me. They have all made me the person that I am today. And from each of those schools, I have taken all of the life skills and the teaching that they gave me and brought it to wherever I've been. And I just want to speak to you tonight and let you know that if there's somebody out there tonight, maybe that has went through a similar situation in their life, to know you're not a failure. Please keep going. Don't give up. You are more than capable of achieving anything in your life that you put your mind to, and it is worth it. It is absolutely worth it. Do not let anybody tell you that you're a failure. And most importantly, believe in yourself. Never give up hope. I got a D when I was 10 years of age, and I'm now a journalist working for the BBC. I have 8 GCSEs, I have 3 A levels, and I have an undergrad degree. I have a master's in journalism course, and I'm very happy in my career. And my one message to you tonight would be, never give up hope.